Hello, my beautiful people. We've heard about the Hop Shoot 2010 rumors recently, and just like you guys, the first thing I thought was, is that game really old enough for a remaster? Hop Shoot 2010 is great. I think it's one of my favorites in the series as a whole, but look at this game and tell me it looks old. It just doesn't. It actually looks better than Heat in some instances. Heat does genuinely look like Minecraft. Ew. Other than ray tracing, maybe crossplay, some DLC, there's really no other reason to remaster Hop Shoot 2010. And you could say most of those things for any other game in the franchise. Like, imagine Most Wanted 2005 crossplay with ray tracing. Like, you could say that about any game in the franchise, so it's a bit irrelevant. And one thing I hear all the time, especially as a content creator, is, why don't you remaster Underground? On the other side of the coin, I also hear people saying, well, if Underground got remastered, well, it would be shit, because shit games. So what I did over on my Twitch channel, which you'd also go follow, is I played through the entirety of Underground 1 to find out, is this game really good enough for a remaster? Crazy how a game from 2003 has better physics than a game in 2020. I will stand by that. At the fundamental core of Underground 1, the actual core gameplay loop is so solid. We've got 21 seconds to go. The physics in drift mode and circuit racing / sprint racing aged very well. The perfect balance of simcade and arcade. Literally, Ghost, just copy Black Box's physics, please. Oh, wait, you're dead. Can I include that? The customization, definitely dated. I don't know whether it would necessarily hold up in 2020 because the customization we've had in the games recently is definitely better, even if it is lacking in volume. But I really liked the customization in this game. I think it was pretty much, you know, what we'd expect. You know, the front bumpers, the rear bumpers, the wide bodies. Actually, more parts for certain cars than there is in the 2020 release of Need for Speed, or 2019 release, I should say, which we don't talk about here. There's more headlight options, there's more tail light options, there's more wide body options. Yes, they're not licensed, but who really cares? A lot of these parts you're seeing right now, like the Vilside Supra, you know, that's not licensed, but you can clearly tell what it is. And there's a lot more parts. So I think in that regard, it actually does a lot of things better than Heat. Some things are lacking though, like the livery editor, that would need to be redone. Like, there's absolutely no way they could get away with that nowadays. Like, they'd need to be a livery editor in the game. And a lot of the things that, you know, its successors just did better, like Underground 2 had a dyno mode. Those types of things are obviously missing from Underground 1, and it would just feel really weird if Underground 1 got remastered and didn't have these things. Track design. Criterion you can learn from this track design. It is so good. The shortcuts are well placed. Tracks feel the right length. You know, 2 to 3 minute laps for the most part. Some longer races that'll take, you know, 5 minutes per lap. Some shorter races that'll take a little bit less. I think track design is something which the newer games they need to learn from, because it's absolutely fantastic in this one. And finally, before we go on to the bad point, the atmosphere. Oh, just soak it in, man. It's so cheesy. It's so mid 2000s. It's so Fast and Furious. Just watch this cutscene.
Nah, this stuff's weak. Anybody can buy this crap. Trust me, you don't want this stuff. Hey, I got what you need. Get real. There are some parts you can't buy at any price. I'm the only one that can make it happen for you.
It is absolute AIDS. It is absolute AIDS, but in the best way possible. And that pretty much wraps it up for the good points. I'm just looking on my laptop here. Now we're going to move on to the bad. And there's a fair few bad points. The length, it is so artificially long. There's like 100 and something races, 120 races, something like that. And the game just, it doesn't need to be that long. You end up doing the same races in reverse, then you do them in normal, and then you do it in normal reverse. And then the game's like, well, have you had enough of this track yet? Let's go ahead and do it in Enduro. The length of this game is way too long. It could easily be slashed by 30 races, and it would be, you know, all the better for it. I played on hard throughout all my playthrough, and oh my god. Let me tell you a story about B-Dog. B-Dog is a batty mad. I don't know how long it took me to do this race. I want to say maybe an hour or two on stream. I'm a pretty good racing gamer. I play a lot of racing games, but B-Dog was the end of me. I didn't have any problems on any of the other races. I played the game as intended. You know, I didn't like downgrade my car through my playthrough. That makes the game easier, by the way, if you didn't already know. B-Dog just ate my ass, bro. He was just eating it, and I told him to stop eating it, and he was like, woof, woof, woof. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in the outro section, because there's a lot more to say about B-Dog and his catch-up. But yeah, definitely a big bad point, and something which is quite problematic if you were going to remaster this game. The cars! Oh my god, there's literally like 18 cars in this game. I don't think you could have a game in 2020 that only has 18 cars or some shit. Like, it's crazy. Before everyone in the comments says, wow, Toyota, you wouldn't be able to get Toyota now, it's 2020. Fast and Furious got fucking Toyota. I'm sure EA, if they wanted it, just pay enough money, you'll get Toyota. Like, I don't want to hear excuses about the Need for Speed in Toyota. I'm sure it's all about the licensing. It's all about how much Toyota want from EA to get the license. They know EA can pay up. EA's probably not paying up. If they don't have Toyota in the next game, that is an absolute farce. And I'm sure that's down to EA and Toyota not being able to discuss a settlement fee. But yeah, if they were going to do a remaster, then they would probably have to put more cars in. And knowing EA, they would probably put a Koenigsegg Agera in an underground game. And that just really scares me. The story! Yeah, the game has a lot of character. Yeah, it's hardly a story, though. I've seen better stories in pornos. This is awful. It is really bad. I don't know why people argue about Eddie. I bet half of you didn't even know who Eddie was, you know, before like 2015. No one knew who Eddie was. I don't want to hear it. At the end, you do a race against, I think her name, not Samantha, the other one, Melissa. Yo, bro, did you even know there was a girl called Melissa in Underground 1? What the fuck? I didn't know.
Brother, say brother, say brother, say brother. Yo, you're looking thin. You need to eat, bro.
Is that your fantasy?
Is that it?
It was hardly a story. Yeah, okay, future games kept them, but is it anything to go right home about? No. If you want a racing game story, go play The Run or Undercover, you know, the good ones. And to end off the bad section, I kind of want to talk about just missing features. No camera mode, no sharing for liveries, no livery editor like I mentioned earlier, no end game. There's PvP, but that's about it. There's no daily challenges, there's no monthly challenges. Heat has a few of these things. It doesn't actually have a lot of these things though, like the multiplayer and the daily challenges and the like those types of things. Heat doesn't do awfully well. These are the types of things that would really bring a game down in 2020. You can't release a racing game and not have a camera mode, not have a PvP mode. These are some of the things. I know Heat does have a camera mode, but this is for some of the reason why I think the modern Need for Speed games just haven't done as well. They're missing a lot of these basic features, but not only, you know, missing the features, but then doing them well is a completely different thing. You can have a camera mode like you can in Heat, but then to have a good camera mode like, say, Forza's is, it's a completely different level. You can have PvP like in the Crew 2, but that's completely different to having good PvP like, say, the F1 games or Forza Horizon, where you can literally pick every single parameter and stuff. They're two completely different things. All of these missing features that are on the board, yeah, I don't know if it could really, I don't know if it would work. Which leads me up perfectly to, should this game be remastered? The short answer is, well, it's no. Not yet, anyway. Not before Underground 2 gets one. Most certainly not before Most Wanted gets one. No. Not that one. If EA is planning on doing remasters in the off seasons, then in the years that we don't get games, then there's plenty of time for it. But I think Underground 1 would need a remake, kind of in the same nature that the Resident Evil games have got. I've not actually played any of these, but I've seen YouTube videos and I've heard fantastic reception. They basically remade the old Resident Evil games, and I think Underground 1 would need a similar thing. You know, it'd need to be remade from the ground up with more cars that are, you know, in the same spirit of the original Underground. So we're talking like BRZ, a normal Clio, like not the RS, a normal Clio. I wouldn't want to see the Supra in the game. I think the Supra's too high-end for Underground. I mean, maybe you could get away with it as it being the hero car, but, you know, more cars would definitely have to be a thing. Adding all those missing features, like a camera mode, like a livery editor, maybe like a prestige mode, etc. Possibly adding an open world to Olympic City, like the modders have. Like, those types of things would be the things that I'd want to see. You know, better AI. Let me have a little rant about better AI as well, because I kind of want to rant a little bit about what I said earlier. If people moaned about pre-patch peak performance in Need for Speed 2015, if you didn't already know, this was a race that was quite hard. Amy would just zip so far in the lead in front of you. A lot of people got annoyed. I personally didn't mind it. It was a nice challenge. The rest of the game was way too easy. So to have a race that was actually quite hard, I didn't mind it. But a lot of people had a problem with it. If you had a problem with that, there is absolutely no chance you are getting past B-Dog at all. B-Dog is peak performance on crack. Like, it was just, if people had a problem with peak performance in that game, there's absolutely no way they're going to accept half of the Need for Speed Underground's catch-up problems. They're much worse, and, you know, I feel like a lot of people just aren't, they're not going to be accepting of it. And that's the kind of the long answer, really. I don't think it should be remastered. I think if they're going to do an Underground game, it probably needs a remake. I would accept a remaster over Hot Pursuit 2010 personally, just because I don't think Hot Pursuit 2010 needs a remaster at all under any circumstance. But there's definitely games I would like to see before Underground 1. I think Most Wanted 2005 is one of those games that you could remake in its current state and it would live up to all the hype. Before we end this video, I just want to quickly say thank you to all my patrons who made this video possible, specifically Bryce, Zoltan, and Rubesh. Thank you very much. If you want to go ahead and support the channel just with a few bucks and exclusive Patreon rewards, make sure to go ahead and check it out. Links down in the description. As I've been hinting to as well in this video, I've been streaming on my Twitch loads, basically 3 to 4 times a week. So if you do want to go ahead and check out my Twitch, links also down in the description to that. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.